What's up, everybody? Justin here with a new episode of The List. What is The List? It's a show where I discuss any topics I want to discuss. Mostly wrestling topics from the world of pro wrestling. But also I can discuss anything else I want to. Sports, politics, anything else going on in the world. So, this new list, this is episode 25. This episode of The List, I will discuss AJ Lee. And what she said in an interview, I think she said it on Sunday night. Or sometime. It came out Monday or Sunday. She claimed that WWE, and I believe AJ Lee, I doubt she lied. She claimed WWE punished her for refusing to do a storyline that she didn't want to do and wasn't comfortable in doing it. So, former WWE, here's a story that I will discuss. Former WWE superstar AJ Lee, AJ Menza Brooks, was recently interviewed by the New York Post to promote her new book, Her Crazy Is My Superpower. And she revealed WWE sidelined her for months back in 2012 for refusing to participate in a storyline she found offensive. By the way, her book is out now. You can buy it on Amazon.com. It's probably a pretty good read. It's called Crazy Is My Superpower, How I Triumphed by Breaking Bones, Breaking Hearts, and Breaking the Rules. That's her new book. AJ suffers from, I believe she does. AJ suffers from bipolar 2 disorder and writes about her experience living with the condition in her book. Back in 2012, she has already spoken publicly about her mother's battle with bipolar disorder. Now, I don't know if AJ Lee has bipolar 2 disorder or if she's talking about her mother has it. Anyways, I'll continue to go on with the story. She spoke about her mother's battle with bipolar disorder, but not her own. Playing off her crazy chick character, WWE pitched her a storyline that involved her taking part in a series of goofy skits in which her character hallucinated, kissed a leprechaun, and danced with dinosaurs from outer space. Now that is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Whoever came up with that in WWE, you are a stupid idiot. That is just stupid. If that storyline would have been put on TV, I would have ripped it and said that is really stupid and that is just embarrassing. If WWE has they've done a lot of stupid storylines, and some that have been very offensive, like the Katie Vick storyline. That offended me. And that really pissed me off. So, for example, AJ didn't do this. A storyline where she would have hallucinated and acted like a real crazy person. But they actually did. WWE, for example, they did do something really stupid with Natalya once, where they had her in a storyline where she's backstage in segments with other talents, and she was like, I don't know, doing squats, and then she'd fart, and she'd keep farting, and she couldn't stop farting, and some jackass on the creative team, or probably Vince McMahon came up with it, thought it was funny. So, yeah, they do stupid shit like that. A lot. They haven't done any really stupid storylines at all, dumb and awful, but they've done a lot. So yeah, that is wrong and stupid just to make Vince McMahon laugh. That is just wrong to humiliate your own talent. And I know Natalya agreed to do the storyline, and she did it. But I'm sure she thought it was stupid as hell and pointless. And what good would it do for her and her career? It did nothing good for her career. So back to the AJ story. AJ says she was offended by the angle and she refused to participate, and as a result, WWE pulled her from television and took her off the road for several months. I believe that, and that is some bullshit. That is totally wrong. That they punished AJ Lee just because she didn't want to participate in the stupid, dumbass, hallucinating storyline that you had for her. And that's sick. I mean, I don't know if anybody from WWE knew her mother suffered from bipolar disorder, so they wanted AJ hallucinate. I don't know if they knew that, but still, that's humiliating. To act like you're hallucinating. Yes, I know they're characters on a television show. I know it's sports entertainment. And they're hired to play roles and be involved in storylines and act and cut promos and be involved in sometimes some outlandish, over-the-top storylines. But having a character hallucinate is just, that's too much, and that's too stupid. If I would have saw that, as I said, if they would have had AJ hallucinate, that would have pissed me off, and I would have threw something on my TV and said, why, WWE, why are you being so stupid by doing this and making the fans watch this crap? So then AJ wrote, after she's taken off the road, she wrote, it felt like it disrespected both me and my mother. It was a joke, but to me it wasn't something to laugh at. And then AJ says she hopes her book teaches others battling mental illness that they're not alone and it can be overcome. I want to show that they're not something. Or let me get back to this. I want to show that they're not something that's going to stop you. That it's not something that's going to stop you. And then she writes, she said that. Anyways, then there's a video at the end of this story with, it says Divas Champion AJ Lee gives her state of her mind address. And Big E is standing next to her. I'm not going to play the video because I don't want a copyright from WWE. WWE already sent me a damn copyright from one of my WrestleMania live reaction videos when I had The Undertaker's music playing for like 2 minutes. And they couldn't handle that. How am I profiting off The Undertaker's theme music playing for 2 minutes? I don't understand that, but I got a copyright for it. Whatever. Anyways, so AJ Lee, she speaks her mind. It's a good thing she wrote this book. It could help a lot of people that have bipolar disorder because it runs in AJ Lee's family. Her mother has it. I was a fan of AJ Lee when she was in the company. I thought she was very good. She was very good at cutting promos and playing her character. And she was a pretty good women's wrestler. Not the best. She's not on the level of Charlotte or Sasha, but she was very good. So that's my thoughts on AJ Lee revealing that she was punished because she didn't want to be involved in that one storyline that was basically making fun of people that hallucinate and people that suffer from bipolar. I agree with AJ. I'm glad she didn't agree to do it because that was just really, really, really stupid on WWE's part to come up with that stupid crap that would not be entertaining to see AJ Lee hallucinate. And I don't know, man. Some of the people that are in WWE they're nuts. They're really nuts to come up with some of these crazy-ass storylines. They wanted AJ to dance with dinosaurs from outer space. That is stupid shit. That has no place in WWE or wrestling. And Natalya, her storyline where they had her farting like a gas problem, there's no place for that crap in pro wrestling. That's stupid. That is stupid, like 5-year-old humor. So there's my thoughts on AJ Lee. I'm glad she's speaking out against WWE sometimes. She has every right to. So now the next story on this episode 25 of the list is Ric Flair. Ric Flair was thrown out of a bar for insulting the bartender after being kicked out of the bar. There's not much to say here about this story. All I'll say about it and my thoughts on it, it's the Nature Boy just being the Nature Boy. It's Ric Flair being the Nature Boy. Ric Flair partying it up, having fun. Maybe he was drunk. I don't know. And I don't care if he's drunk. This is nothing to put down Ric Flair for. That he was thrown out of a bar. The guy wasn't arrested. The guy wasn't charged with anything. In my opinion, it was just Ric Flair being the Nature Boy and having fun. So, fans out there, you shouldn't be bashing Ric Flair for this. Because that's Ric Flair. I don't think Ric Flair can separate his character, the Nature Boy, from his real life. Because the guy, Ric Flair, is Ric Flair, in my opinion. The guy is the Nature Boy. And I don't blame him for not being able to separate his character and his real life. Because the guy's been the Nature Boy for like over 40 years. So, here's the story. This was Sunday, I believe. This was from April 10th. So Monday. Today's April 12th. It was reported earlier Ric Flair, WWE Hall of Famer, was removed from a bar in Fort Wayne, Indiana over the weekend for disorderly conduct. So I don't know if he was charged for that, but he was kicked out. Flair was at the Deck Bar and Restaurant on Sunday and got into a verbal altercation with the bartender, according to the Deck manager. Flair was only at the bar for 5 minutes before he began insulting the bartender. Now, that nobody, when you go to a restaurant or a bar, nobody has a right to insult the workers and the waiters and the waitresses and the bartenders. Nobody has a right to do that. They're just trying to do their job and support their family. He insulted the bartender. That's wrong. People don't do that. Unless you weren't brought up right, then you probably do that all the time. But anyways, Ric Flair did it. Probably had too much alcohol in him. That's probably why he insulted the bartender. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's just the Nature Boy being the Nature Boy, partying it up, having fun. It's not right to insult bartenders and restaurant workers. It's not right to do that, but whatever. I don't really care that he insulted the bartender because it doesn't affect me, but I wouldn't do that to any workers in a restaurant or a bar. But I don't go to bars because I'm straight edge. Anyways. So then, Pro Wrestling Sheet has now posted a fan video of the altercation. Flair apparently became upset when he ordered a second drink and the bartender attempted to pour it into the same glass Flair then just finished drinking from. So I guess he got pissed about that. I guess he wanted a new glass for a second drink. I don't know. Flair allegedly threatened to have the bartender fired. Oh, that's funny. That's actually funny because I doubt Ric Flair could have the guy fired. Anyways, unless he made up some story and lied about what the bartender did. So after that, the bartender in the video, he can be heard telling the bartender to lose some weight. That's also pretty funny in my opinion. It's not funny to fat shame overweight people, but who cares? Again, it's a nature boy being the nature boy. I wouldn't do it, but it was the nature boy Ric Flair just being the nature boy. I mean, he used to do that on Monday Nitros, on television, playing his character. He used to get on the mic and say, "Sit down, fat boy," stuff like that. That was funny. So, I think Ric Flair was just trying to be funny when he's telling the bartender to lose some weight. Whatever. And Ric Flair, I believe, is still under WWE contract. I hope he doesn't get released for this. He shouldn't be released. If they're really, please, WWE's going to release Ric Flair over this, being thrown out of a bar. They're going to release, if they release Ric Flair for that, they better release JBL for what his ass did. Because what Ric Flair did was nothing compared to what JBL did. JBL bullied a guy he worked with so bad that the guy had a mental breakdown. And you all know who I'm talking about. JBL should still be fired or suspended. So I hope Ric Flair isn't punished for this. I haven't heard anything. And today's Wednesday. This happened Sunday over the weekend. I haven't heard anything about Ric Flair being released or fined or suspended. And I don't know, Ric Flair, maybe you should think about, the only advice I have, the only thing I really have to say is, not that Ric Flair's ever going to see this, but maybe you should not drink anymore. Because you kind of get belligerent and start yelling at restaurant and bar workers. And that's not right. So maybe you should think about not drinking alcohol anymore, because you kind of get out of control and you might have a problem. A few years ago, I think 10, 11 years ago, Ric Flair had a road rage incident with someone, but I don't think he's drunk then, but he got arrested for that. Anyways, Ric Flair, I don't think you should really drink anymore, because you can't handle it, and you start yelling at people. So there it is, episode 25 of the list. I talked about AJ Lee and her getting thrown off TV in 2012 because she didn't want to participate in a storyline. I talked about that, and I talked about Ric Flair getting thrown out of a bar in Indiana. Hope you enjoyed this episode 25 of the list. Follow me on Twitter, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Bye for now, everybody.